Welcome back to the Match Room, your ultimate World Cup daily breakdown studio. We are live right after the final whistle of an absolute 1-1 war at MetLife Stadium between Brazil and Morocco, and let me tell you, my mind is completely blown. This was an absolute classic, a massive statement by Morocco, proving once and for all that they belong at the absolute top table of world soccer.
Please, give me a break, Mark. A statement? Are you kidding me? That was an absolute disaster for Brazil and a complete tactical failure for Carlo Ancelotti on U.S. soil. You were out here hyping up a draw like they just won the trophy? Brazil should be absolutely steamrolling this group, and instead they looked completely lost.
Lost? Are you blind, Jay? Morocco went toe-to-toe with the Seleção in front of 82,000 screaming fans in New Jersey. They played beautiful, high-pressing, fearless football. This wasn't a fluke. Mohamed Ouahbi set his team up perfectly to neutralize Brazil's midfield. That was a tactical masterclass, plain and simple.
Masterclass? Mark, did we watch the same match? Brazil's starting 11 is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and they looked like they met in the parking lot 5 minutes before kickoff. Ancelotti has all this elite talent on the roster, and his grand plan was to pass sideways and pray for a moment of individual brilliance? It was passive, it was sluggish, and frankly, it was embarrassing for a country with 5 stars on their chest.
You are completely disrespecting Morocco. They are World Cup royalty after their semi-final run, and tonight they proved it wasn't a one-time miracle. Look at their defensive structure. Look at how they transition.
How structure? I'll tell you about structure, Mark. Brazil's defense was a total comedy show. They threw away 2 points because they couldn't handle a basic high press. Ancelotti got completely outwitted, and if this is how they start their World Cup campaign, they aren't even making it out of the bracket phase.
Okay, let's talk about the actual chess match on the pitch, because Ouahbi made a bold move that absolutely nobody saw coming. Starting Neil El Aynaoui up front in that advanced role instead of Soufiane Rahimi, that was absolute genius. It completely threw off Brazil's center backs.
Genius? Are you out of your mind? Leaving Soufiane Rahimi, literally Morocco's absolute best, most clinical attacking weapon, on the bench until the absolute final minutes of the match? That isn't genius, Mark. That is a sackable offense.
No, wait, hear me out, Jay. Rahimi is a known quantity. Marquinhos and Gabriel Magalhaes had prepared all week to defend against Rahimi's physical runs. By throwing El Aynaoui into that starting role, Morocco completely disrupted Brazil's defensive line. It was a brilliant tactical surprise factor. It allowed Brahim Diaz and Bilal El Khanous to find space between the lines because Brazil didn't know who to mark.
Ha! Oh, tactical surprise factor, my foot. You don't bench your Ferrari to surprise the other guy with a Honda Civic, Mark. Rahimi has the pace, the confidence, the killer instinct. When you have a weapon like that on your roster, you play him, period. Leaving him to rot on the bench until the 88th minute is an inexplicable, massive mistake.
But it worked. They got the result.
It didn't work. They drew. They could have won this game if Rahimi was on the pitch from the first whistle, terrorizing a shaky Brazilian backline. El Aynaoui worked hard, sure, but he didn't have the quality to finish off the transition plays. Ouahbi got incredibly lucky that they escaped with a point.
Lucky? There was no luck involved. It stretched the pitch, it tired out Casemiro and Bruno Guimaraes, and it set the stage for the second half. You're just mad that a manager had the guts to do something unconventional and it actually paid off.
Paid off? It only paid off because Brazil's defense decided to take a collective nap in the second half. Let's talk about the goals. Yes, Vinícius Jr. scored. Fine. He stepped up in Neymar's absence, showed that world-class quality, and put it in the back of the net. Great.
Oh, it was more than great, Jay. Vinny Jr. is the main man now. No Neymar, no problem. He carried the weight of an entire nation on his shoulders, cut inside from the wing, and smashed it right into the upper 90. That was a goal worthy of the number 10 shirt. The stadium literally shook.
Yeah, great goal, beautiful styling. But what happened next, Mark? What happened to that secure Brazilian lead? What happened to the clean sheet?
Well, Morocco fought back. Ismael Saibari's equalizer was pure, unadulterated class. The composure he showed in the box under intense pressure to slot that past Alisson, absolute world-class composure.
Composure? He was completely unmarked. It was a gift. Marquinhos and Gabriel Magalhaes completely switched off. I mean, where was the communication?
Oh, come on. Saibari's movement was brilliant.
No, it was atrocious defending. Gabriel is looking at Marquinhos. Marquinhos is looking at the referee, and Saibari's just standing there in the box like he's waiting for a bus. You cannot switch off like that at this level. Alisson was furious, and he had every right to be. They threw away a clean sheet because of sheer laziness.
You are taking all the credit away from Saibari. That young man had to execute in the biggest moment of his career in front of a hostile crowd, and he put it home like he was playing in his backyard. That's what the World Cup is about.
Hostile crowd? MetLife was practically a home game for Morocco with that noise. But my point stands. Brazil's center backs are supposed to be elite. They play at the absolute highest level in Europe, and they got caught ball watching. It's a joke.
But that's the beauty of it, Jay. Morocco's press forced those mistakes. Azzedine Ounahi and Ayoub Bouadi were absolute monsters in the midfield. They didn't let Casemiro breathe. Brazil's starting 11 looked rattled because Morocco made them look rattled. You want to blame Marquinhos, but he was under constant pressure because the midfield couldn't keep the ball.
Oh, so now Casemiro is the scapegoat? The man has 5 Champions League trophies.
And he looked 36 years old out there tonight, Jay. The game has passed him by in transition.
Because he had no help. Bruno Guimaraes was chasing ghosts, and Paqueta was completely invisible. Ancelotti's system left the midfield totally exposed. You can't play a high line with Marquinhos and Gabriel if your midfield is offering zero protection. It was a tactical disaster.
It was a tactical masterpiece by Ouahbi. He knew exactly where the weakness was. He targeted the space behind Alexandro. Hakimi was flying up and down that right flank like a freight train, and Brahim Diaz was pulling the strings. It was a joy to watch.
A joy to watch if you hate defensive discipline? If I'm a Brazil fan, I am terrified right now. We have no Neymar, our defense is leaking goals to mid-tier European-level attackers, and our coach is getting out-tacticked in his opening match?
Oh, mid-tier? Saibari and El Khanous are the future of global soccer, Jay. You are stuck in the past, dreaming of the 1970 Brazil squad. This is the modern game. It's fast, it's intense, and the gap between the traditional giants and the rest of the world has completely evaporated. Morocco proved that tonight.
The gap hasn't evaporated. Brazil just fell asleep at the wheel. If Brazil plays like this against any organized European side in the knockout stages, they are going home early. Again.
Well, that's what makes this tournament the greatest show on earth. No one is safe. MetLife Stadium just witnessed history, a 1-1 war that sets Group A completely on fire.
It set my blood pressure on fire, that's for sure. Brazil needs to fix that back line, and they need to do it before the next match, or they are in deep, deep trouble.
And Morocco is dreaming big, baby! What a game, what a night!